The 2000 dividend proposal versus reality. Good evening. Tonight, we examine a critical financial alert that has captured the attention of millions of American households, particularly low-income seniors and Social Security beneficiaries. The headlines are filled with talk of a $2,000 payment, often referred to as a tariff dividend or a new stimulus check. However, as we peel back the layers of these claims, we find a complex landscape where political proposals meet rigorous IRS security protocols. While viral online posts falsely claim that the federal government is currently issuing $2,000 direct deposits in scheduled phases, official sources and fiscal experts tell a different story. As of late 2025 and moving into 2026, there are no new federal stimulus checks approved by Congress or scheduled for distribution. The concept of a $2,000 payment stems from a proposal by President Donald Trump to return tariff revenue directly to middle-income and lower-income people. While the White House has confirmed they are exploring legal options to make these dividends a reality, no formal plan has been finalized or authorized by lawmakers. For seniors waiting on this essential window of support, the most important takeaway is this. Regardless of whether new legislation passes, the IRS remains in a state of high alert against identity theft. If a payment is eventually authorized, or if you are simply waiting for your standard tax refund, you must be prepared for the IRS verification alert. Process delays can be devastating for those on fixed incomes, making it vital to understand the identity verification documents the IRS currently mandates for any significant financial transaction. Deciphering the IRS identity verification letters. One of the most significant hurdles for taxpayers awaiting their funds is the receipt of a formal IRS identity verification letter. For many, these notices, specifically Letter 5271C, 5447C, 5747C, or 6331C, can be a source of confusion and anxiety. In our analysis of the IRS Taxpayer Protection Program, we found that these letters are not bills or audits, but rather security checkpoints designed to confirm that the person who filed the return is indeed the person receiving the payment. Letter 5747C is particularly critical because it often requires an in-person appointment at a taxpayer assistance center. The IRS issues these when their automated systems detect a potential mismatch in Social Security numbers or filing patterns. If you receive one of these, the agency will not process your return, issue a refund, or credit any overpayments until you respond. For those hoping for the proposed $2,000 dividend, ensuring your identity is verified is the absolute first step in the pipeline. It's important to note that the IRS does not initiate this contact via email or text. These specific letters only arrive through official U.S. mail. If you receive a digital message claiming you need to verify for a stimulus check, it is almost certainly a phishing attempt. Genuine verification starts with the paper letter in your mailbox. The power of the tax transcript. To successfully secure any high-value federal payment, taxpayers must understand the essential role of the tax transcript. In the eyes of the IRS, a transcript is the source of truth for your financial history. Unlike a copy of your return, which is just what you submitted, a transcript shows the IRS's official record of your account. There are several types, but three are most relevant for identity verification: the tax return transcript, the tax account transcript, and the record of account. The tax return transcript is the most common requirement as it shows most line items from your original Form 1040, including your adjusted gross income, AGI. This AGI is often the key needed to unlock online verification tools. For those who have not filed or whose returns are stuck in processing, a verification of non-filing letter provides proof that the IRS has no record of a return for that year. Having these documents ready is not just a suggestion, it is a mandate for those required to visit a taxpayer assistance center. In our investigation into the proposed $2,000 dividend, experts agree that if such a program were enacted, the IRS would likely use these existing transcript records to determine eligibility and prevent fraud. Without a clean, verified transcript on file, your window of support could remain closed indefinitely. Navigating secure online authentication. Accessing your tax records online has become significantly more secure and more complex. The IRS has implemented a rigorous e-authentication process that aligns with the highest federal information security standards. This process is now the gatekeeper for tools like Get Transcript Online and Get an Identity Protection PIN. For new users, the list of requirements is extensive. You will need a readily available email address, your social security number, and your filing status from your last tax return. But the verification goes deeper. You must also provide access to certain financial account numbers, such as a credit card, home mortgage, or car loan, to prove you are who you say you are. Additionally, a U.S.-based mobile phone associated with your name is required to receive a one-time activation code. The IRS is very strict. They do not accept landlines, Skype, or pay-as-you-go plans for this step. While this secure access process can be frustrating for some, especially seniors who may not have diverse financial accounts, it is the primary defense against the billions of dollars lost to tax fraud each year. For those who successfully navigate this digital gauntlet, the rewards are immediate access to transcripts and the ability to track any future dividend or stimulus payments with precision. The mail and phone alternative. Not every taxpayer is comfortable with or able to use the IRS's online authentication system. If you lack a mobile phone, don't have the necessary financial accounts for verification, or simply prefer traditional methods, there are critical alternatives. The IRS offers a Get Transcript by Mail service that is remarkably straightforward. You only need your social security number, date of birth, and the exact mailing address from your latest tax return. Once requested, your transcript typically arrives within 5 to 10 calendar days at the address the IRS has on file. For those who prefer a human touch or need specialized assistance, the automated phone transcript service at 800-908-9946 is available. These offline options are essential safety nets for low-income seniors and those in rural areas with limited internet access. However, there is a trade-off: speed. While online access is instant, mail and phone requests involve waiting for the postal service. In a scenario where a financial support window for a $2,000 payment is limited, these few extra days could be the difference between receiving funds on time or facing a processing delay. We recommend that if you cannot verify online, you should initiate your mail request immediately to ensure your records are ready for any upcoming legislative changes. Primary identification requirements. If you have received Letter 5747C, your journey to verification will likely lead to an in-person appointment. The IRS is uncompromising about the documents you must bring to this meeting. The first and most critical item is a valid federal or state government-issued picture identification. This primary document must be current and include your photograph to prove your physical identity. The standard gold standard documents include a state driver's license, a state-issued ID card, or a U.S. passport. It is vital to ensure that these documents are not expired, as the IRS will reject any identification that is no longer valid under the law. For seniors, this is a common point of failure. If you no longer drive, you must ensure your state ID is up to date. During our investigation into the proposed $2,000 dividend, we found that many people assume their Social Security card is enough. It is not. The Social Security card does not have a photo and is considered a secondary document. Without a high-quality government-issued photo ID, you will be turned away from the Taxpayer Assistance Center, leading to a total halt in the processing of any potential financial support. Establishing proof of residency. Beyond your primary photo ID, the IRS mandates at least one additional form of identification to verify your current address and status. This is often where processing delays occur, as many taxpayers fail to bring a document that matches the address on their tax return. Acceptable secondary documents include a mortgage statement, a lease agreement for your house or apartment, or a utility bill that clearly displays your name and matching address. For those in more unique living situations, the IRS also accepts car titles, voter registration cards, or even current school records. For seniors who may be living with family, a letter from social services or a clergy member can sometimes serve as verification of residency and specific filing status tests. The goal here is consistency. If your driver's license has an old address but your utility bill has the new one, you must be prepared to explain the discrepancy and provide the paper trail. In the context of the $2,000 dividend proposal, this residency verification is a primary tool the government uses to ensure that only eligible middle-income and lower-income households receive the funds, preventing multiple checks from being sent to the same individual at different addresses. Safeguarding the vulnerable. Seniors and beneficiaries. Low-income seniors and Social Security beneficiaries are often the primary targets of both federal support and malicious scams. While the average Social Security benefit is approximately $2,000 a month, inflation and rising costs for groceries and utilities have left many families struggling. This is why the proposal of a $2,000 tariff dividend has generated so much hope, and why clarity is so vital. For these individuals, the essential financial support window is often fragile. Missing a deadline for something like the Recovery Rebate Credit, which expired in April 2025, can be a significant loss. Our analysis of government data shows that seniors are more likely to be asked to verify their identity because their filing patterns often change when they enter retirement or begin receiving benefits. To protect yourself, it is crucial to remember that the IRS will never call you to demand immediate payment or threaten you with arrest. If you are a senior on a fixed income, your best defense is to keep your tax records organized and to only rely on official information from IRS Gov or trusted news sources. The path to any future $2,000 payment is paved with proper documentation, not social media rumors. The mechanics of the Taxpayer Protection Program. The Taxpayer Protection Program, or TPP, is the internal IRS division responsible for the verification alert we are discussing today. Its mission is to stop fraudulent returns before they result in a payout. When the TPP's algorithms flag a return, perhaps because of an unusual refund amount like the proposed $2,000 dividend, it triggers the issuance of the 5071C or 5747C letters. The mechanics of this program are rigorous. Once you call the hotline or attend your appointment, an agent doesn't just check your ID, they cross-reference your answers with historical data from your prior year tax returns. This is why the IRS insists you bring not only the current year's return, but also a prior year's return and all supporting documents like W-2s and 1099s. If you didn't actually file the return in question, the TPP is your greatest ally. You must notify them immediately so they can mark the return as fraudulent and secure your Social Security number for future filings. Understanding that this program is a protective filter rather than a bureaucratic trap is essential for maintaining peace of mind during the verification process. Avoiding the 9-week delay. The most frustrating part of the verification process is the timeline. The IRS officially states that even after you successfully verify your identity, it can take up to 9 weeks to process your return and issue your refund or payment. For families waiting on $2,000 to pay for essentials, this 9-week delay can be a significant hardship. Why does it take so long? Once verified, your return must be manually re-entered into the standard processing queue. If there are any other errors on the return, such as a typo in a bank account number or a mistake in the AGI, the clock could stop again. To avoid extending this delay, the IRS recommends waiting at least 2 to 3 weeks after verification before checking the Where's My Refund tool. During our analysis, we found that the fastest way to minimize this wait is to use the online return verification service if you are eligible, rather than waiting for an in-person appointment. In the world of federal benefits, being ready means having your documents organized weeks before you even file, ensuring that the 9-week countdown starts as early as possible. The Identity Protection PIN Solution. For those who want to move from a reactive to a proactive stance on identity theft, the IRS offers the Identity Protection PIN, or IP PIN. This is a 6-digit number that prevents someone else from filing a tax return using your Social Security number, or ITN. If you have been a victim of identity theft in the past, or if you simply want the highest level of security for your $2,000 payment, this is the solution. The IP PIN is unique to each tax year and must be entered correctly on your return for it to be accepted. If the PIN is missing or incorrect, the IRS will reject the return immediately, stopping potential scammers in their tracks. You can obtain an IP PIN by using the Get an IP PIN tool on irs.gov, which uses the same rigorous, secure access authentication process we described earlier. For seniors and high-risk individuals, having an IP PIN means you will never have to worry about a verification alert after you file, because your identity was already pre-verified by the PIN itself. It is the ultimate digital lock on your financial future. Recognizing digital phishing and social media scams. As the buzz around the $2,000 dividend grows, so does the sophistication of scammers. The IRS has issued a stark warning. They do not initiate contact with taxpayers by email, text messages, or social media channels to request personal or financial information. If you see a post on Facebook or a direct message on Instagram promising to unlock your stimulus payment, it is a scam. These phishing attacks often use the official IRS logo or create colorable imitations, like using a lowercase l instead of an I in IRS to trick the eye. They may ask for your social security number or bank details to release a payment. Remember, the real IRS will only send you a paper letter via the U.S. Postal Service if there is an issue with your return. Our analysis of viral claims shows that scammers often use emergency language to create panic. Do not click links, open attachments, or reply to these messages. The only way to securely check your status is through the official irs.gov website. Protecting your identity is just as important as securing your payment. Actionable reporting strategies for fraud. If you have been targeted by a scam or, worse, your identity has already been stolen, you must take immediate action. The IRS has a specific protocol for reporting these crimes to help shut down scammers and protect other taxpayers. For suspicious emails, you should not forward them normally. Instead, save the email as a file and send it as an attachment to phishingears.gov. If it's a text message, forward the contents to 7726, which helps wireless providers block the number. If you have already lost money or shared your social security number, the reporting requirements are more extensive. You should report the incident to the Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration, TIGTA, and the Federal Trade Commission, FTC. If your business was targeted for W-2 data, there is a dedicated email at dataloss@irs.gov. By reporting these attempts, you are not just protecting yourself, you are helping the government map out and dismantle the infrastructure that scammers use to steal billions of dollars. In the race to secure the $2,000 dividend, vigilance is your most powerful tool. Federal assistance programs beyond stimulus. While the $2,000 dividend remains a proposal, it is important to remember that significant financial support is already available through existing programs. For many low-income households, these hidden dividends can provide more long-term stability than a one-time check. Programs like SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, provide monthly support for groceries, while Medicaid and CHIP cover essential health care costs. For seniors, Social Security remains the bedrock of financial security, and for families struggling with heating or cooling costs, the LIHEAP program offers direct assistance. Additionally, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act and other recent legislation have introduced tax cuts and rebates for working families that may not be labeled stimulus but function in the same way. If you are waiting on the essential window for a $2,000 payment, we strongly encourage you to explore these established resources. They may require more paperwork than a stimulus check, but they are funded, authorized, and ready to help right now. Don't let the hope for a future dividend stop you from using the help that is currently on the table. The final checklist for 2026. As we conclude our analysis of the IRS verification alert and the $2,000 dividend proposal, we leave you with a final checklist to ensure your financial security in 2026. First, verify your mailing address with the IRS. If you've moved, file Form 8822 immediately. Second, gather your 3 essential identity documents: a valid government photo ID, a secondary proof of residency, like a utility bill, and your most recent tax transcripts. Third, if you haven't already, create an IRS online account using the Secure Access process to get instant access to your records. Fourth, consider signing up for an IP PIN to proactively block identity theft. And finally, stay informed but skeptical. Only rely on official updates from irs.gov or established news organizations. Whether the $2,000 dividend becomes a reality this year or remains a legislative goal, having these records ready protects you from delays and ensures that you are first in line for any support you are entitled to. Thank you for joining us for this special analytical report. Stay safe, stay verified, and stay prepared.